Before we begin, I just wanted to pose 2 questions to you that I'd like you to think about as we have our panel today. The first question is, what does it mean to be diverse as an organization? What does that look like? What does that feel like? And the second question is, what is the value of being diverse as an organization? So one more thing, I'm going to use the acronym DEIB. Anyone know what that B stands for? Go ahead. Belonging. That's right.
So this is a great question for my group because I work with engineers and I'm married to one as well, so I cannot get away from them. It's a wonderful group of demographics that I deal with daily, and the one thing that sets them apart is that engineers see the world in black and white. And what we're talking about here today, DEIB, is not so black and white, is it? It's a very gray area. It's a soft skill, and that is very uncomfortable for my demographic. They find it important. They know they need to know about DEIB and implement the practices, but they aren't quite sure how to do that. And so that's where me as a non-engineer with those soft skills comes into play.
We're an AMC, so we have several association clients. I would say one of our biggest challenges as an AMC is, we can advise our respective clients and work with board members and people in leadership within those associations. But at the end of the day, it's really up to them to decide to incorporate DEI. So although as a company, we support it and I would say practice it, although we don't have a DEI policy, we just live it every day. Our clients, it's up to them to decide whether or not to proceed with something, whether it's a program or a policy or whatever it happens to be. So it's like, you can lead the horse to water, but you can't make him drink. So sometimes that's frustrating, but that's probably our biggest challenge.
Society, we have about 26% of our folks in the United States that have a disability. That could be good for many companies who are looking for stability. Also, when people see that you're hiring people who are diverse, people with autism, people with intellectual disabilities, people in wheelchairs, they tend to think that the company, whether this is true or not, but I think mostly it's true, that people really care about people who are different. So I think there are financial benefits, there are morale benefits to hiring people with disabilities.
I was in the Air Force, and I was in a combat position before women were allowed in combat. I'm that old. They're watching me and some of my peers and laughing because I'm a woman. I'm the only one out there. It's all guys, and they're all pushing these 10,000-pound pallets by themselves. How's this chick gonna do that? If that bee can push that pallet onto that plane by herself, I'm gonna cut a certain part of his anatomy off. So my friend told me about it. I said, that's fine. So I went and I pushed that pallet onto that plane by myself, and he quietly sat there and watched me do it. And later, after he and his first sergeant came to me and apologized and lost a stripe and had to go back to his peers, I just realized that that's the benefit of being somebody who's different on that flight line. I was paving the way for other women when they were allowed to be in combat, to be in that squadron, to do what they did. Now, part of the benefit of being a female in that unit and doing what I did was also I was looking at troops that were going there, and some of them were not coming back alive. I was looking them in the eye, and I was making sure that they had as much comfort and just that human touch as possible before they got on that plane and went to a place God only knows what they were going to experience. The other guys in my squadron weren't thinking about that. They were just thinking about stuffing them onto that plane, getting onto the next plane, moving on. And I just had everyone pause for a minute and just think about what we're doing here. This is the first time that we had to do this as a country, and our squadron was one of the first to get those people out there, and it made a difference to just make eye contact, just touch their shoulder, just, you know, wish them well. And, you know, I had a lot of very grown, very big, burly men just say thank you. And that's that touch, that benefit.